This is the only film that even 20 years after its release still sits unrivaled on the throne of Korean romance cinema, remaining completely unshakable to this day, leaving behind a legendary sentiment in the world of Phil. When Sun Yi-jin cries, it feels as if every man in the world has done her wrong. It's also the first movie that made me cry a river halfway through the editing process. This is a story that breaks your heart in the most subtle of ways. Its power lies not in breathtaking spectacles, but in a gentle, steady flow of helpless yet profound affection that tenderly stings your heart. The hands of time turn back to the summer of 1968. As the daughter of a prominent member of the National Assembly, Yoo-hee leaves the bustling city to spend her summer at her grandfather's rural home. Meanwhile, a local boy of humble means, Jun-ha, is playing by the river with his friends. The moment Yoo-hee catches his eye, time seems to stand still. There stood a girl in a white dress, as pure and radiant as a gardenia in the summer heat. His friends mock him for reaching for the moon, calling her a white swan far beyond his reach. Mustering every ounce of his courage, he clumsily waves a greeting to her. To his surprise, the high-born young lady generously responds with a radiant smile of her own. It was this chance encounter, this brief, kind exchange, that ignited an uncontainable flame of youthful passion between them. Yoo-hee finds everything in the countryside fascinating. When Jun-ha pulls a dung beetle out of cow manure, she isn't repelled. Instead, she leans in to touch it with genuine interest. That pure sense of curiosity leaves Jun-ha even more captivated, eager to experience more of the countryside's wonders. Yoo-hee takes the initiative and asks Jun-ha to lead her on an adventure to a legendary haunted house. Faced with an invitation from the girl of his dreams, Jun-ha's heart raced like a drum. He agreed immediately without a moment's hesitation. The next day, they met by the river as planned. Jun-ha rowed a small boat, taking Joo-hee toward the abandoned manor on the far bank. A gentle breeze brushed the water, creating ripples on the surface and stirring the subtle romantic feelings in the hearts of the two young people. Little did they know that this seemingly innocent adventure would become the prelude to their intertwined fates, and that a sudden trial was also quietly looming. The so-called haunted house was merely a long deserted estate, with its doors left ajar and the courtyard overgrown. The silence held a chilling air of eeriness. The two plucked up their courage to go inside, but while exploring a room, the rotten floorboards gave way, and they both tumbled through. Jun-ha scrambled up and quickly helped Joo-hee to her feet. At that moment, a dark shadow flickered past behind them. Prove his bravery in front of his sweetheart, Jun steeled himself and slowly pried open the suspicious door. His comical reaction made Joo-hee burst into laughter, which instead piqued her curiosity even further. She summoned her courage and approached step by step. It turned out the ghost was just a homeless wanderer living there. After the false alarm, they looked at each other and shared a relieved laugh. Restlessness of youth and the thrill of adventure drew their hearts closer together. However, nature was not on their side. Just as they prepared to return, the sky opened up in a sudden downpour. The rushing torrent washed away the boat they needed to cross back, and the next ferry crossing was miles away. There was no way to reach it before nightfall, and worse still, Yoo-hee accidentally sprained her ankle on the slippery ground. Seeing Joo-hee's pained expression, I didn't hesitate for a second. He knelt down and motioned for her to climb onto his back. The young man's steady back became the girl's safest haven in that moment. He trudged through the uneven ground with her on his back, heading toward Dood, an abandoned melon shed, to seek shelter from the rain. He carefully wrung out his own shirt and handed it to Joo-hee to dry herself off. That simple gesture of care spoke louder than 1,000 words. Once the rain subsided, hoping to cheer Joo-hee up, he stole a massive watermelon. With no knife at hand, Jun-ha used his bare fist to crudely smash the watermelon open. This rustic way of eating, unheard of in the city, left Joo-hee wide-eyed with surprise. Then she burst into laughter. The sweet pulp mingled with the fresh scent of petrichor. It became the sweetest memory they shared. Not until night fell did they finally reach another ferry crossing. The darkness bestowed a different kind of romance upon the countryside. Fireflies by the river danced like stars, illuminating the quiet night. These were insects Joo-hee had only seen in books. She was utterly mesmerized. Seeing her wonder, Jun-ha quietly caught one for her. That tiny spark of light glowed in his palm and was held up to her. Yoo-hee's heart completely melted. This boy of few words used the simplest of gestures to give her a sense of romance she had never felt before. Beautiful moments are always fleeting. As they made their way back by boat, Yoo-hee's grandfather was already waiting anxiously. Realizing they had to part, Yoo-hee made a bold decision. She took off the necklace she always wore and gave it to June. It was a lucky charm given by her father at her birth, a deeply meaningful gift. In that moment, it became the token of love for their blossoming romance. As the servants hurried her away, Junha was left behind. But he was met with a stinging and humiliating slap from Juhi's grandfather. The slap was like a bucket of ice water, dousing his burning heart, saliently warning him to know his place. They belonged to two different worlds. He thought this summer romance would draw to a close here, but fate seems to have a penchant for the cruelest ironies. After school resumed in the fall, Junha returned to campus. His best friend, Tae-soo, a boy from a wealthy family, but with a simple and honest personality, approached him with a request that Junha could never have imagined. To ghostwrite a love letter to the fiancé he had never met. This was an arranged childhood betrothal set by their parents for family interests. Tae-soo didn't get much for it as he spoke. He pulled out a photo of his fiancée. The moment Junha's eyes fell upon the photograph, his whole world stood still, and his breath caught in his throat. The radiant girl in the photo was none other than Juhi, whom he dreamed of day and night. Immense shock and conflict instantly overwhelmed Junha's heart. On one side was his best friend, and on the other the girl he deeply loved. How should he choose? In the end, a selfish yet humble longing prevailed. Instead of revealing the truth, he agreed to Tae-soo's request. He decided that under Tae-soo's name, he would pour his unspeakable longing and adoration onto the paper. Thus Junha became the ghostwriter in the shadows of Juhi's love story. With every letter brimming with his profound affection for her, he described their summer encounter, recalled the melon shack in the rain, and praised the fireflies in the night.